Welcome back to my next playthrough series. This time we're heading back into the Wasteland, but this time we are using the New California expansion. And we're going to be using the co-op scenario that comes in the game, which is basically called New California. So we're going to be taking a look at that. This is how the map is set up for the New California scenario. I'm going to be playing with two characters. I'm going to be playing with the Wastelander and with an Enclave Deserter. And so without getting into the details of how to play, I've already done a couple of playthroughs of Fallout, so all of the how to play is kind of encapsulated in those. So what we're going to look at is we're going to look at the New California card, because it tells us how to set up the game. Then we're going to look at the two characters I've chosen for the co-op mode. Then we'll look at the marketplace, and then I think we're probably just going to get into it. So let's take a look now at the New California setup. Okay, so this is the card for New California, and as you can see, there's the map, and that's how it is set up. We just saw there a minute ago. And we have Arroyo, the Crossroads Camp, sort of connected. We have Poseidon Oil Rig, and the New California Republic. Up at the top, though, is the important information. We're going to set up, so we stage 184. We're going to be taking a look at that card here in a minute. And then there's a special symbol for the expansion. It says 240 and 241. So what that means is there are multiple copies of those cards. So there's multiple copies. I think there's 4 copies of 240 and 2 copies of 241. So I've shuffled those and added them into the appropriate deck. The 240 card went into the Ruins deck, and the 241 card went into the Settlement deck. Because we're playing with 2 players, you take the top 2 cards off those decks, shuffle in this card, 240, 241, and add them back. So that was done. And then we place a shield token on the Poseidon Oil Rig. I did that already. That's out there. And it says important. Create the agenda deck using all agenda cards. So I've shuffled up all the agenda cards. And do not draw agenda cards during setup. And we're going to look at the flip side of this card because it explains kind of how the game works for co-op. So up next, we're going to take a look at that. Alright, so there's lots of information here. It says cooperative play quick reference. So this is going to be a little bit different than any of the other scenarios that have 2 factions that are kind of competing against each other, and you declare loyalty to one faction or the other. This one, we're playing basically against the Enclave. So the victory condition is if the star faction token reaches the final space of the power track. And the loss condition is if the shield faction, which is the Enclave, reaches the final space of the power track. And of course this is the power track here. The red is the final space. And if you're killed, you advance the Enclave 1 space. At the end of the round, you do not advance the star token when the final agenda card is drawn. So there is that. And it says agendas. When a survivor gains an agenda, they must immediately discard it and resolve an effect based on the card's name. So if you draw a freedom card, you advance the star 1 space down the track. If you draw security, you advance the shield back 1 space. And any other card that you draw, you can resolve either effect. It's your choice. The Enclave themselves are pretty darn powerful because X is 2, 3, and 4 here. So their level is going to be level 2, level 3, level 4. They have a shield and they're hostile, aggressive. So it says, after this enemy type activates, advance the shield faction token 1 space. Then, if there are 5 or more shield tokens on the map, advance the Enclave faction token 1 additional space. Otherwise, place another Enclave shield token on the nearest unexplored tile to Arroyo. If there are no unexplored tiles, place the shield token on a Poseidon Oil Rig. So, it looks like we have lots of Enclave soldiers hunting us down, which now takes us to our 2 characters I'm going to be playing. We're going to look at them first, then we're going to look at Welcome to the New California Stage Card 184, and after that, I think that's probably going to be the end of the episode because there's just a lot going on. So this will just be an intro and setup. Alright, let's take a look at our Wastelander. Alright, so the first of our 2 characters is going to be the Wastelander. And this is from the original game, and so not sure how well that miniature is going to zoom, but that's a pretty awesome little miniature. Looks like she has a triple barrel shotgun by the look of it. So there's the Wastelander card. Of course, we know how to set up the board. We put the XP here, the rad tracker to the far left, hit points on 16 to the far right. Let's take a look at the Wastelander card. So on the back of this card, I'm going to put it right here in her hand slot because that's where it belongs. She starts with a tire iron. And if you have the strength ability, you get to re-roll. And it says during a fight you may exhaust this card to generate a re-roll. Of course, exhausted cards refresh when you do a rest action. So there's also a little token here that represents our Wastelander, and it says she has the agility skill, so ability, so we're going to put it on agility. And I chose one at random. If it's the same as this, we have to choose a different one. I don't know what it is. It's intelligence. So she has intelligence and agility, but not strength, so that's not going to help her with her weapon. That's basically it for her setup. Start with 3 caps. And she is going to start, I believe, in Arroyo. And then we're going to now take a look at our Enclave Deserter. Alright, and here we have the Enclave Deserter. And again, another absolutely fantastic miniature. Just the detail is really awesome. If you know how to paint, these would look super cool. But I don't, so I just leave them like that. And they're so different, all the different miniatures, that easily seeable on the board, no problem there. So again, this board set up as per normal, 3 caps. Let's take a look at the Enclave Deserter card. And this one is going to be an armor card. I think you can see it from there, so we're going to put it in the armor slot. Apparel, advanced power armor. When you kill an enemy, gain 1 additional XP, and it gives him a shield, which is awesome. Alright, we're going to take a look at his ability token. Oh, he has strength. Okay. And the one I chose at random is perception. So he has strength and perception, and he has advanced power armor. Alright, now we're going to take a look at the staged card. Welcome to New California. And so I should have mentioned, of course, spoilers, if you want to play this scenario for yourself. This is going to spoil probably quite a bit of it. And I'm going to leave this as open information because this would be a staged card. I know in my past playthroughs I've been hiding all of the sort of rewards section. I will do that on encounter cards, but on a staged card we're going to be able to see what's going on. It says, Arroyo, a small village in New California, is suffering. Drought has brought the villagers to the edge of desperation, and in their hour of need they have turned to anyone who will listen, which I guess is the Wastelander and the Enclave Deserter. So we've got a couple of options here. First option, visit Arroyo and hear them out. So we're going to be starting at the crossroads. We can go north, visit Arroyo, but we have to make a charisma roll and get 3 successes. Ooh, and neither of our 2 characters has charisma for reroll, so that could be a tough go. But if you successfully do that, you're going to stage 185. Draw and resolve 244, so there's multiple copies of 244, so we randomly pick one, and we trash this card. The other option is explore the Arroyo hunting grounds. Okay, so it just means you do a quest action in Arroyo, draw and fight a bug, and if you succeed you get 2 caps, and of course the experience for killing the bug. That's where we're starting the game. So let's take a quick look at what's in the lineup to purchase. And then we're going to place our characters out on the board, and I'll check the time. We might have time to do 1 turn each. Okay, so we're going to take a look at our shop deck for our follow game here. We've got a Singe Duster, a Flamer, John Cassidy, and a Bear Trap. So I'll go over them quickly. The Singe Duster, of course, is an item apparel. It gives you 1 armor. During a test that uses agility or luck, you add a hit. Flamer's awesome. It's a weapon. Use perception to reroll. It's ranged. Costs 11, so Duster costs 6. And before a fight, exhaust to lower the enemy's level by 1. Lower their level by 1. Wow, to a minimum of 1. That's awesome. This card costs 3 caps to unexhaust. Okay, and John Cassidy. Before a fight, exhaust to give your equipped weapon the ranged icon until the end of the fight and generate 1 reroll. If you do not have any drug items, keep this companion when it unexhausts. And lastly, the Bear Trap, costing 3. During your turn, exhaust to place an unused quest marker in your space and on this card. When an enemy moves into the marker space, kill that enemy. then discard this card. Kill the enemy. Wow, Death Claw, anything. Whoa. This card cannot unexhaust, so it just discarded one use. Alright, that's our item deck. Let's place our Wastelander and our Enclave Deserter on the board, and I think there's time, probably, for them to have a turn. Alright, so there's where I've decided to place the Enclave Deserters on the south of the Crossroads camp map, and I put our Wastelander at the north section of the Crossroads camp map. Because I think I'm going to have the Enclave Soldier do some searching, and I'm going to have our Wastelander go right up to Arroyo and try to do that 184, the quest, the charisma. Try to hear them out and see what they want. So we're going to start off with our Wastelander. So let's get you get to do 2 actions on your turn, and so we'll get to it here in a second. Alright, so I think what we're going to do, we're going to start with the Wastelander. We're going to move her 2 spaces. So every movement action gives you 2 movement, and there's no radiation or anything, so you're just going to go 1 across the bridge and 2 to Arroyo. Now when she's in Arroyo, she's going to try that action there, the quest action in Arroyo. It says visit Arroyo and hear them out. So she's busy there hearing them out. She's going to be rolling the 3 dice, and it's a charisma check, and you need 3 successes. That'll be her second action. I don't know if she's going to pull that off. We're going to get to the dice tray and find out. Alright, well, she's way up on Arroyo. She's talking to the elders, and we're going to roll the 3 dice, and we're going to see if we get 3 successes. Come on, let's get 3 successes. Wow! And indeed, we get 1. Oh, no, we get 2. Oh, and there's no rerolls on this. So she failed, I guess, to hear them out. So that was her second action. Okay, that's the end of her turn. Up next, we are going to have the Enclave Deserter take 2 actions. And one little thing I forgot to mention here at the setup was, again, I mentioned in the reading, we do have a shield token Enclave Soldier here at the Poseidon Oil Rig. We also flipped over, because there's an icon here of a Raider in this radiated zone, and we flipped up a Bounty Hunter, which is a 2nd level. Range, drops a loot, you have to hit him in arms and legs. So yeah, it looks like the Enclave, not only are they gunning for us, looks like they hired a Bounty Hunter as well. Alright, we're going to do some exploring for our Enclave Deserter's first action. It's going to explore this tile, this green one right here. So I'm just going to have it flipped over and we'll take a look at it. Alright, we're going to flip this tile over and we're going to see what we have. Ooh, we have a bunch of rough terrain and a highway, but no actual bugs or anything. So we got rough terrain here, costs 2 movement to move into it, highway, and we have irradiated zones. Now this is a level 1 ruin. So that was the first action for our Enclave Deserter. Now he could do a move action, actually move in here, trying to get to the ruins for maybe his next turn, or he could explore again. And you know what? I think we're going to have him explore one more time. So he's going to flip over this tile, which he's also adjacent to, and it's Vault 84. Ooh, wow, okay, so that could happen, or could be good for side quests if it comes up. We do have a bug icon though, so we're going to take the top bug token, we're going to flip it over, and it looks like we have a blood bug. Oh, it's an expansion one. Ooh, it causes radiation if it hits you. It moves 2 spaces with 1 on 1 turn when it activates. Youcher. It's only a 1 level, and you have to hit it in the arms and the legs, so it's not super dangerous. I don't like the radiation it gives you though, but there's not much you can do about it. And that, in a nutshell, is basically the end of the turn. So they both had 2 actions, and so let's just get right into processing the end of the turn, which means we're going to be drawing the top card of the agenda deck, and we're going to look at the bottom of the card to see what critters activate. Okay, so we're going to grab the top card of the agenda deck, and we're going to activate all the enemies that show up on the bottom of the card. And we have Raiders. Well, we do have a Raider. We have that Bounty Hunter. Ooh. We super mutant or mutated symbol. We don't have any of those on the board. And robots. We don't have any robots on the board. So the only enemies that are going to activate are the one bounty hunter. So let's get that bounty hunter moving. He's going to try to get, of course, to us. So he's going to move here. The Enclave has hired a baddie to come and try and take us out. All right, I'm going to readjust the camera a little bit here, and then I do believe we're going to wrap up our episode for today. Okay, so I think we're going to wrap up here for today. This is, once again, Fallout, but we're using the New California expansion, and we're using the New California scenario, which is fully co-op. It's the first one that's come out. I don't know if Fallout's going to come out with any more expansions. I hope they do. The expansion was quite nice. It added 5 new characters, making the total now 10 if you have the base game and expansion. A whole bunch more cards, loot items, special items, extra perk for each of the traits. So now there's 3 perks instead of 2. So it was quite a nice addition. And I'm quite excited to play this co-op version to see how we're going to do. I don't know. I don't like the fact that the Enclave is just going to be spitting out soldiers like crazy, gunning for us. We already have a bounty hunter on the way. So thanks so much for watching along. Thanks for your comments, subscriptions, likes. This is Fallout, New California. So please join me next time for the continuation, and we'll see you then.